Well, good morning. Today we are going to unpack Exodus chapter 19. I hope you've already read that this morning. We now see Israel in this chapter encamped at Mount Sinai. And for the second half of Exodus, we'll focus on what happens here at the mountain as the Israelites will remain here for about 11 months. Now, it's right here at this place that God will deliver his covenant to the people through Moses. This chapter focuses on the instructions for Moses to prepare Israel for his presence at Mount Sinai. Now, as we look through verses 4 through 6, we see that he wants Moses to remind the people of what he has done for them, how he delivered them and how he had bore them up on eagle's wings as he delivered them from Egypt. He also promises that if they obey his voice and keep his commandments, they will be his treasured possession. He's asking for obedience here, even before they have all the details of the covenant itself. You know, this shows us that God is serious about obedience and wants our complete trust in him from the very beginning. And it's always good to be reminded of and dwell upon all that God has done for us, right? And to be obedient and faithful to our loving and protective Father. He knows what's best for us. God tells Moses that he is going to come in a thick cloud to speak. Why is he doing this? So that there will be no doubt to the people and even to us that Moses is the one to whom God is entrusting this message for his people Israel. God says that he will do this so that they will believe Moses' words forever. Man, think about that. That's still true today. Moses is then told to consecrate the people so that they are prepared for God's presence when he comes on the mountain. They are to set themselves apart. They are to wash their garments and prepare for God's presence on the third day. They were not even allowed to touch the edge of the mountain where God's presence would be. God is serious about his own holiness, right? On the morning of the third day, there was a cloud and thunder and lightning and a very loud trumpet blast. It must have been something to behold. And everyone trembled. Moses brought the people to the foot of the mountain. The mountain itself was trembling as well with the presence of God. It must have been something to behold. When God came down to the mountain, he called Moses up. What an amazing sight this must have been to watch this man, Moses, ascend the mountain to meet with God and then, more amazingly, to live to tell about it. God continues to ask Moses and to remind the people to remember the limits where they could not go at the bottom of the mountain. They need to be reminded of this. This can be seen as an emphasis of God's holiness and his seriousness about their obedience and knowing their place. He then asked Moses to bring Aaron up with him, and that's equally as amazing. As God used Moses to prepare the people for this covenant, we see the purity, the power, and presence of God. He is holy, he is powerful, and he is truly awesome. What a great reminder for us today, this Friday morning. We should not live in fear of men, but in a holy fear and reverence of our God, who is this great, as we see in this chapter. He used a man, Moses, and his leadership in revealing the covenant to his people. And we're going to read more about that as we go. And now, as you go about life today, are you seeking your own consecration and purity? Are you setting yourself apart? Are you giving yourself over to the will of our Father in service and in worship? And it is a serious matter, and we should prepare ourselves each day to stand before him, ready to listen and to obey what he demands of us, what he requires of us, what he wants from our life to honor him and bring him glory. What is he asking of you today? How can you obey? Are you setting yourself apart? Are you taking the holiness of God seriously? Are we taking our own sin seriously as well? He is awesome. He is good. And he died for you and me. What an amazing God we serve. We'll see you next time.